All right, it is 7 o'clock on Thursday, December 11th. This is the regular city council meeting for the city of Alburnett, and we will go ahead and call this meeting to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Counselor Trum, Counselor Bosenberg,
Present.
Counselor Myers,
Present.
Counselor Sukup and West are absent, but let the record reflect that we do have a quorum to conduct a business tonight. With that, I would seek a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Moved by Bosenberg. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Myers. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And your timing's perfect. That brings us to our sheriff's report.
All right, well, I'm Deputy Schmitz, and it looks like we had 15 total calls for service for you guys, and we met the 43 required hours. And looking at it, doesn't look like there was anything too crazy. A lot of sick calls, a lot of sick calls, but yeah. And a few school calls. Are you guys aware of the school situation or the one kid that's having problems with parents, grandparents? We've been out there a few times just to make sure everything's fine, but I honestly don't remember the names. I've only been out there once. Something to do with drop-offs, pickups on Thursdays. I haven't heard of any more problems.
Oh, we've got them in our
Oh,
packet.
you are-
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's yours.
But so far there hasn't been any problems. I know it's for a younger boy, I think like first grade. But the school resource officer was made aware of it, and we went out there for pickups a couple times, but it sounds like we may have made her aware that our presence is known, so.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, I don't have anything. You guys have anything for us?
Did we ever check in with Major Colston about during snow emergencies?
I sent you know, I haven't received anything back yet.
Okay. Is that something, do you know, we would call non-emergency? So if we've just got some vehicles that haven't been moved that we need tagged?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, just call it non-emergency.
Or is that something you guys check as you're patrolling, if you know there's a snow emergency in place?
If there's a snow emergency in place, we should be checking it, but if we don't get to that area for some reason because of calls or something, call us, cause then we'll make it a point to come
Okay,
and tag them. But yeah, give us a call, non-emergency, and we'll come do it
all right,
and get them tagged.
sounds good.
But, you did email Major Colston on that, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let him know and see if he's looked at it.
We're just trying to figure out the process, so we follow it, and I know
Yeah.
any snow emergency means you guys are busy with important things, so we.
Car in the ditch. Yeah, but just call a non-emergency line and we'll come down here. I know I came down the other day there was a wrestling meet and a band concert.
Oh,
and
yes.
people were kind of parked all over. I drove through a couple times, just making sure we could get emergency vehicles through, and we could, but yeah, there was parking all sorts of crazy.
Well, you can never have enough
No,
parking. so.
never. I mean, the back lot that was just a little bit further of a walk was still.
Had room, yeah.
But other than that, yeah. Anything else?
Any other questions for the deputy? All right, well, stay safe tonight. It's
Yeah,
getting a little
thank you.
slick, so.
I know, I'm off at 10, so I'm hoping I get out before the crazy starts.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, that brings us to item number 6 on the agenda, the public hearing for the FY26 budget amendment. I would seek a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Moved by Myers. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Second by Trum. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The hearing is open at 7:05 PM. I don't think it's in our packet, but we did have proof of publication, right, Vicky? Yes, perfect. And so this budget amendment is to add $23,700 to the storm water account. And this is primarily for, we had the work with the GIS, which has been invaluable and will continue to be invaluable. And then also the engineering work for the Longworth Drainage Project are both within those. So two projects that we hadn't necessarily budgeted for up until this point, but we do have fund balance to cover those expenditures. So there is no tax implication, but we do have to amend. Did we receive any written comments from the public? No written comments. There's no public present. I guess you two count. Any comments? Anything for the public hearing from council? All right, with that, I would seek a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Moved by Bosenberg. Do I have a second?
Okay.
Second by Trum. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The hearing is closed at 7:06 p.m. All right. That brings us to citizen comments. We did rearrange the agenda just a bit because we were supposed to have some personal effects for tonight's meeting, but due to the weather, those did not happen. And so the meeting will carry on as scheduled, but you will notice our agenda is just a little bit different tonight, and that is why, but everything is on here just in different order. So we have citizen comments for agenda related items. We do ask that you state your name and address clearly for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Do we have any citizen comments on agenda related items? All right, hearing none, we'll move into new business, and we are going to start with the oaths of office for re-elected officials. So there are 3 of us, though only 2 of us are present tonight, and so we will administer the 2 we have, and then we will get caught up with Counselor West when he returns. And Vicki will make sure that that gets done. So I guess I can go ahead and start. If Vicki, I believe the city clerk is authorized to administer oaths. So I think I will stand up and
Delete this part.
no, you don't read that part.
I, Bethany Sarrazin,
I, Bethany Sarrazin,
do solemnly swear that I
do solemnly swear that I
will support the Constitution of the United States
will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially,
and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of the office
discharge all the duties of the office
of mayor in the city of Alburnett, Iowa,
of mayor in the city of Alburnett, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law. Makes it official. Counselor Trump.
Yes.
All right, I, Joe Trump,
I, Joe Trump,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa.
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of the office of City Council
discharge all the duties of the office of City Council
in the city of Alburnett, Iowa,
in the city of Alburnett, Iowa,
as now and hereafter required by law.
as now and hereafter required by law.
Thank you, sir. That brings us to new business item B, employee health insurance renewal. So, we will preface this with, so you do have documentation starting on page 3 of your packet. Page 4 is for our existing plans with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We are facing a 21% increase on our premiums over last year. And so staff took it upon themselves. We tried to look for options because this has gone up at an increasingly higher rate every year. I think it was 14% 2 years ago, 18% last year. Like, we keep just seeing these really massive increases. And so we did shop around a little bit to see what we could find. What we did learn is, even with this increase and with the premiums at the rate that they're at, this is a competitive plan. And we did know that we are what they call grandmothered in to a plan that we had since before the American CARES Act was enacted. So this is one of those plans that if we leave it entirely, we can't go back in. We would then have to go to the marketplace. We received pricing on what that would look like, and it's premium wise, the premiums are about the same, but the coverage itself is subpar. So in our research, we did find one that was the coverage itself is really good. It's the America First Healthcare. You're going to see that on page 8. The really only downside to that particular coverage option is they didn't have as expansive of a network. So, but otherwise the coverage is good. The premiums are competitive and they're actually locked in for lifetime, right? Or to the age of 65 when someone would then become eligible for Medicare, I believe is.
10 years.
Well, I think this was a lifetime one. I don't,
This was a lifetime.
Yeah.
The other one was 65. But
Oh, yeah, I think this was the lifetime one.
yeah, so,
this is the American First one.
yep, so this would lock in, so these premiums would not change. So staff and I had several conversations and, Mac would like to retain the Blue Cross Blue Shield. The coverage is very good. The network supports what he needs. And then, Vicky, I mean, I could let you two speak. I guess I don't have to speak on your behalf. While appreciates the Blue Cross Blue Shield, is also, looking at other options, and if, with it being her as an individual plan, has a little bit more flexibility around things like providers. And so was interested in potentially pursuing the America First in order to kind of just explore that other option and help save us some money along the way because the city pays for 100% of the employee premiums. So with that said, I will take a breath here in a second. We prepared 2 resolutions for you. So you're going to see resolution 2025-01 and resolution 2025-02 are both on the agenda. We will pass one, but not both. So one of them is approving the renewal as it is today, which again, Vicky is fine with that coverage. It's just, it is considerably more expensive. Your other option for resolution 12-2025-02 would authorize that employee choice of health insurance plans, where we would still maintain our Wellmark plan. Oh, you're good.
I just want to make sure, did it come from your personal email or from like a county email or
Would have been from city clerk.
city clerk?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I was gonna let him know that you would send it over to make sure he's actually getting it.
Okay,
So, city clerk.
yeah.
And then what is your guys' emergency protocol for vehicles like that, just for my own information, because I'm up here a lot? Is it tag him or like, how does it work? No vehicles on the road?
Right.
Okay, no vehicles on the road.
Yeah, no on street.
No on
Yeah.
street park.
Okay, no on-street parking. Perfect. That works for me.
We keep it nice and straightforward.
Yeah.
No, none of that even odd stuff.
I actually wondered,
Some towns are, yeah, even odd, and I'm like,
I'm wondering if he actually got it, because I did email him today too, because we had initially, we were gonna change our meeting a little bit, so we weren't gonna
Okay.
require you to be here tonight.
Okay.
So clearly,
Keep
so
it-
I make sure he's getting, like, if he's not,
Okay.
then I don't have the right address.
all right, so it's city,
To be clerk at Alburnett.
all right. And how about what is the actual address for you? Email address?
Oh, yeah, city clerk. At Alburnett, IA. .org.
All right, yeah, I'll send that all over to him, so one, he can double check to make sure he is, and if he's not, then I'll have him send you an email, then that way. you guys
Yeah.
will know.
Great,
Perfect, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So the second resolution is the one that introduces employee choice of health insurance plans that essentially the city would, it would still be a a city-owned plan, we would just recognize both of these as options. A lot of employers, I know my employer offers 3 different plan choices, so it's not out of the realm. We did confirm with Wellmark that we can have just 1 employee on the plan, so we don't jeopardize our existing coverage. And because this is during the open enrollment period, through December 15th, so that's why we normally do this in November, but we were trying to do all of our due diligence and we brought this to you here in December. So they would be eligible to switch because it's considered open enrollment.
Page that has the continuation for Mac and I, as far as the premium amount. That will actually increase another $200 plus in March because of my age.
Okay.
Yeah, the Wellmark one is age-based.
That's the other reason I was shopping around.
So we'd be better off giving them the option to which one they wanted to do. I don't know what you're asking with the resolution.
It's, yeah, it's council's choice. It was difficult to write one resolution to cover both scenarios, so we gave you choice of resolutions. So yes, it would be one but not the other as far as the resolutions are concerned. But
So the
happy to-
second one would provide a choice.
Correct. And we did include their particular choices, so MAC would be sticking with the Wellmark plans as we have them today. So the HG 14 for health insurance, and then the dental is the DG 101. So those are existing plans with the same premiums and everything else. And then Vicky would opt for the America First Clearwater UHC with conservative care. And that included dental
Medical, dental, and vision.
and vision, I believe.
Wow. You can see your own doctors, you don't have to change
Oh.
doctors.
That
Your doctor's in this PPO then, or the ones you have?
is a PPO, but it doesn't, it's a multi-plan network.
I saw 2 different ones listed, so, but that's gonna work for you
Yeah,
well.
but they have like a telemedicine that you can use that's free within the plan, and then they'll negotiate the rates and do all that. So, I mean, I'm not concerned about having anything in that.
Okay.
We did confirm for like major medical, the university and Mayo Clinic are both in network for that one.
Ready for motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
I move we adopt resolution 12-2502.
Motion by Trum for resolution 12-2025-02. I'm actually gonna go ahead and read that since that's where we went. That is authorizing employee choice of health insurance plans. Whereas the city of Alburnett, Iowa provides health and dental insurance to its employees as part of its employee benefits package to ensure their well-being and to remain competitive in attracting and retaining qualified staff. Whereas the city council has reviewed the 2026 health insurance renewal options and recognizes that premium increases have reached a level that warrants consideration of alternative plan structures. Whereas the city council finds it to be in the best interest of the city to establish multiple approved plan options for the 2026 calendar year. Whereas in accordance with the city's intent to permit employee-selected insurance coverage, the following plan elections have been submitted by eligible employees for council acknowledgement and administrative implementation. The following employee plan selections and associated cost allocations are acknowledged. Matt Kleitch with the Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, and then Vicky Kula with the America First Clearwater UHC Conservative Care. Now therefore it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Alburnett, Iowa hereby approves and authorizes the implementation of all health insurance plans selected by eligible employees for the 2026 plan year as presented and confirms that such selections shall constitute the official health coverage options under the city's employee benefits program. Be it further resolved that the city clerk is directed to take all necessary actions to administer these approved plans in compliance with the adopted budget and applicable personnel policies, and to provide timely notification to employees regarding their benefit provisions for the 2026 plan year. So I have a motion by Trum to approve resolution 12-2025-02. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Bozenberg. Any further discussion?
So. If we bring somebody on board. Next year. Would they have a choice between the two if they are eligible for? If we're going to cover their insurance?
Correct. This does state that these become our only option, so we would not explore a third option.
Okay,
If we were to bring someone else on board, they would choose between these two. And primarily that is because this is our open enrollment period, and so, for them to come in, I don't think we can add another one, but yes, they would be able to choose between either of these.
don't get any ideas, Mac, but. If Mac should win the lottery and decide to spend the rest of, the year on a beach and we have to hire someone and they don't choose Wellmark. Are we just out of that plan at that rate forever?
Yes,
Okay. So they're. After that new hire makes that choice, we wouldn't have access to that.
that is correct. We do
Okay.
have to have a team member in that group.
Try to make it not snow.
We're
No water
not
main
winning that
breaks.
battle right now.
Try large. So, okay, I was,
Questions?
yeah, I was just curious. I mean, it doesn't affect how we would do it today. I'm just curious down the road.
Yeah. What we didn't ask is if we had a grace period, so if we were to have no one in the plan, with the intention to backfill. I assume we have a grace period, but again, if that person selects the America First, then.
Yeah, we have two people on the American First plan and nobody on the other, you know.
Yeah.
So,
We opened conversations with our state representative Cindy Golding about. We are not the only ones seeing 20% increases year over year, and so we're looking for what are those solutions for these small cities. And part of that is we're on state retirement, we're on state programs for equipment purchases and software, like. Is there an opportunity to get on state insurance? And so I'm not sure if it's gonna be taken up as an issue, but we are not the only ones asking for it. And so there is a potential that there might be a larger systemic solve in the future as well to help keep this affordable. That is very true, but just see some of the conversations we are having,
Yeah.
so. All right, any further discussion? I have a motion and a second on resolution 12-2025-02. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries.
Do we have to do anything with the other resolution?
I don't think so, because there's no motion on.
Dies.
Okay, without motion it dies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of thought that was the best way to handle it, because trying to blend the two together, it was a lot of words, so. Nope, I think we can just ignore it. That brings us to new business C, which is resolution 12-2025-03, adopting the budget amendment for FY 26. So again, we kind of talked about this during the public hearing, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read resolution 12-2025-03. Adopting budget amendment for fiscal year 2026. Whereas the city of Alburnett published the required notice on November 29th, 2025 concerning the budget amendment for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026. Whereas a public hearing was held on December 11th, 2025 in accordance with the published notice. Whereas the budget amendment is needed to increase the spending authority by $23,700 due to contracts awarded for stormwater improvements. Whereas this budget amendment does not change the property tax levy in the current fiscal year. Whereas the Alburnett City Council, after allowing the public to speak on said budget amendment, gave final consideration to the proposed budget amendment. Now therefore it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Alburnett, Iowa does hereby adopt the budget amendment for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026 as attached herein. Be it further resolved that the city clerk is directed to certify and file the budget amendment as adopted to the Lynn County Auditor. I have a motion to approve resolution 12-2025-03.
Are we doing a roll call?
Yeah, I need a motion first.
Okay. So move.
Motion by Bozenberg. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Myers. Roll call, Counselor Myers.
Yay.
Counselor Bozenberg.
Yay.
Counselor Trump.
Aye.
That motion carries. All right. Resolution 12-2025-04, accepting the REAP grant award for city parks and open spaces from the Iowa Department of Natural Resources. So as part of our council action policy that we recently adopted, we did include that for any grant awards, we would formally accept them by a resolution. Part of that is it helps us document any of the terms and conditions that go along with it, such as matches or anything that council needs to be aware of as we apply for and accept these grants. So that's what these next two resolutions are. I'll just go ahead and read this one. Resolution 12-2025-04, accepting the REAP grant award for city parks and open spaces from the Iowa Department of Natural Resources. Whereas the city of Alburnett, Iowa submitted an application to the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, DNR, for a Resource Enhancement and Protection, REAP development grant to support Phase 1 development of the new Alburnett City Park. Whereas the Iowa Department of Natural Resources has awarded the city of Alburnett REAP grant number 26-R4-NA in the amount of $50,000 to support project elements including turf seed, walking trail construction, and installation of a shelter/restroom facility as identified in the grant agreement attached hereto as Exhibit A. Whereas the REAP development grant agreement specifies that the project must be completed by December 31st, 2027, and that no local match is required as the grant provides 100% of eligible development costs up to the maximum award of $50,000. This is whereas the City Council finds it in the best interest of the City of Alburnett to formally accept the REAP grant award and authorize execution of the grant agreement. Now therefore it be resolved by the City Council of the City of Alburnett, Iowa, that the city hereby accepts the REAP grant award in the amount of $50,000 from the Iowa Department of Natural Resources and agrees to terms and conditions of the grant agreement, including completion of all project work no later than December 31st, 2027. Be it further resolved that the mayor is authorized to sign the grant agreement and related documents, and the city clerk is directed to maintain all required records and reporting associated with the grant. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 12-2025-04?
Moved.
Motion by Trum, second by Myers. Second by Myers. Any further discussion? None. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries. All right, that brings us to page 17. Resolution 12-2025-05, accepting the Lynn County grant from the Cedar Rapids Community, the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation. So much like the last. Whereas the City of Alburnett submitted an application to the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation for a Lynn County grant to support development of the new Alburnett City Park. Whereas the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation has awarded the City of Alburnett Lynn County grant number 086935 in the amount of $10,000 to support project elements as identified in the grant agreement attached hereto as Exhibit A. Whereas the grant agreement outlines the terms and conditions of acceptance, including requirements for proper use of funds, charitable purpose restrictions, publicity and acknowledgement standards, compliance with IRS reporting requirements, reimbursement provisions, repayment of unused funds, and indemnity obligations. Whereas the grant agreement specifies that a final report is due 1 year from the award date of November 18th, 2025, and the city desires to remain in full compliance with these requirements. Whereas the City Council finds it in the best interest of the community to formally accept the award to support continued development of the Alburnett City Park and to authorize the execution of the required grant documentation. Now therefore it be resolved by the City Council of the City of Alburnett, Iowa, that the city hereby accepts the Lynn County grant from the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation in the amount of $10,000 and agrees to the terms and conditions of the grant agreement, including completion of a final report no later than November 18th, 2026. Be it further resolved that the mayor is authorized to execute the grant agreement on behalf of the city and directs the city clerk to ensure all reporting, financial documentation, and grant conditions are followed in accordance with the requirements of the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 12-2025-05?
So move.
Motion by Bozenberg. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trum. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Did I get your eye, Joe?
Aye.
All right.
Oh, I got distracted.
It's all right. That motion carries. All right, we had nothing under old business. That brings us to the consent agenda, which starts on page 21. I would seek a motion to approve the consent agenda. Moved by Myers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trum. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries. All right, written reports, and those start on page 29. We do not tonight have a representative from the fire department. I do know they got called out right before the meeting. I did speak with EMS Captain Keel right before the meeting, and she did not have anything to add to the report. So if there are any questions, I can do my best to answer. Otherwise, I do know Chief West will be back in the coming days. Any questions for the fire department? Brings us to Public Works on page 30.
I don't have any additions unless there's any questions for me.
Oh, just keep hauling snow.
That's been the most of the month, so,
Merry Christmas, right?
yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, the first
Yeah.
one. All right, any questions for Public Works?
No.
Okay, brings us to City Clerk. Good job on the grants. You will notice in the report, we get a few more that we're working towards. Every little bit helps. Any questions for the city clerk or treasury reports?
Forgot to add one thing on my report, that the CD at the bank, we chose not to renew it based on the resolution that you guys passed before, because the rate wasn't where it needed to be. So we did just cash it out, so it's sitting there now. I'm looking at other options. So once I figure what that's gonna be, I'll let you know.
And then she did include a budget timeline. We had it on the agenda to talk about budget workshops. We'll just facilitate that via email since we're missing a couple of members. So keep an eye out for questionnaire around budget workshop availability, because that will be happening in January.
What was the amount of the CD that we ended up?
50,000, but it was like 54 because we had, yeah.
It was like 55.
Looking at the balance sheet here from October to November, and it shows all iPad accounts. I'm seeing they're going up. They went up about $2,200. Is that all interest that we gained in a month's time? Okay, good job. Mhm.
I mean, we could figure it out what percentage that.
Doesn't matter, it's $2,200.
That is true. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to citizen comments for non-agenda related items. If you could please state your name and address clearly for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Do we have any citizen comments on non-agenda related items? Hearing none there as well, we'll move on to the mayor's report. I do have a list for us. Just a reminder, we did pass the updated snow removal and ice control policy, which does define that snow emergencies will be called when there is 3 or more inches of snow expected. So that's something for residents to be aware of, that if we are predicting 3 or more inches, we will proactively call that snow emergency, which means no on-street parking during that time frame. And as such, residents are not to deposit snow in the streets. So as they're clearing their private drives, that cannot be pushed or thrown into the streets. I mentioned in October that we were struggling with the Cintas agreement that was previously approved by council. We did our best to get in contact with the representative. We had a meeting scheduled. He had to cancel it due to illness. And I have sent him 3 emails since about rescheduling, and this has been over the last 2 months, and he doesn't even return emails. So I am inclined to abandon the Cintas agreement for the rugs. Vicky did have something lined up with another provider just to get nicer rugs. It wouldn't be the rug service. But then it's at least we can kind of upgrade what's here. So we'll put that on the January, I almost said July, the January agenda for council to consider, but we gave it our best effort. I do have a park project update. So we met with HR Green this week, and so they are working to finalize the design and have that ready for January, where we do have a public hearing set. There is going to be a bit of a change in that with the modifications we asked for to the pavilion, to the shelter, what they're finding, so to have that included in the same plan set as the rest of the park, they were really looking for like a prefab, a kit that they could include as part of that bid package. Those are coming in extremely expensive. I believe at one point I told them I could build a small house for what they're pricing this pavilion out at. So the strategy that we're going to take is we're going to separate it into 2 different bids, one for the rest of the park elements and a separate one for the shelter. We'll still have to follow the same competitive bid protocol because it's all one project, but we do really think that that will entice more local bids on the shelter piece, because they may be the ones that shy away from the sports courts and the bigger grade work, but we really do think we have some local contractors that will pick up that bid for the shelter itself. So council-wise, I don't think it changes. It's the same project. We're just splitting it into 2 design packages.
And what's the size on that now we're talking about?
I think we don't have a spec yet. They're still working on that. I think I asked them to go no less than 20 by 24, or might have been 24 by 24.
And that includes the restrooms and that same footprint?
No, that's just for the pavilion side.
Okay. And restrooms would be
Attached, but on the back wall, yes. So the 24, obviously the restrooms would be 24 wide, but the 24 depth was just for the open space pavilion.
And is there a design? I mean, is it open to, what's the kind of the current design? Is it gonna be concrete block, just what?
So they had come to us, what they originally put in the estimate that we've been using for the grants and things like that was a kit, and it was stacked timbers, which I didn't love. I'm like, that's not airtight. It's not waterproof. Like there's maintenance because you got to paint them or stain them or seal them.
Yeah.
So I did challenge them to get me something that was more maintenance free. And the next kit they came back with was cinder block. And I asked them, like, there's really nothing in between stacked timber and cinder block. And it's like, just stick build it and vinyl side it or steel side it or something. So that is where we came up with best to separate. Because by having it as part of the bigger bid package, it almost had to be one of those kits. That cinder block kit was $250,000. And that's where I told my son we can build a small house for that.
Yeah.
So where we're at, they're doing a rough design, and then they are going to reach out to a local contractor to see about getting kind of an estimate for what that would take so that we can build that into the bid but we are actually putting it within the bid. We're putting it on the contractor to design and get the architected plans for whatever they design. So we may get a little variety when that comes in, but they should have a basic concept of what we're looking for.
But everybody will be working on the concept, it'll be a built from scratch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 restrooms with a storage closet in between, with the doors facing east. And then, yeah, the pavilion section on the other side. I'm sure we'll specify some materials like
Yeah.
little, no maintenance siding, you
Yeah.
know, that kind of stuff, so.
Okay.
So that is the park project update. They are confident that we'll still have that by the January meeting and have that ready to go out to bid. Specifically, the bigger portion, that will require a more specialized general contractor. And so the sooner we can get that out to bid, I think we'll be better off from a pricing perspective. The shelter, we didn't exactly talk about timing on that bid quite yet, but hopefully it's around the same time. Comprehensive plan, we had a kickoff for that too. I'm really excited about this. The Bolton Bank team, it was incredible. They came prepared. They answered all of my crazy questions. So we're at the point now where we are establishing the steering committee as well as some key stakeholders that they could talk to, and then kind of coming up with that plan for the next steps. The first step of the comp plan is to do a survey and get some feedback from the community. I did volunteer if they can get me a deck to go into some of our nonprofits or our organizations in towns during their meetings, the foundation, the Lions Club, and just get as much feedback as we can as we move into that. So some of you might get tapped as part of the steering committee. They did say they like to have some council members. So I was going to check with TJ, just also with his purview at the fire department. And then Joe, I didn't know if you'd be interested. Sounds like a meeting a month for about an hour.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then we were gonna check with a member of planning and zoning, and they did confirm someone from Lynn County Building that is willing to be on the steering committee as well, so.
Is there anybody from the school?
Oh, we were gonna ask the superintendent. I did already talk to him about being a stakeholder, and so I was gonna see if Mr. Zimmerman was willing to be on the steering committee. Thank you, yes.
Would we want the superintendent, or would we want somebody like Josh Hendrickson, who is a resident, who's lived here for a while, and also has been in the school for a while? Superintendents, as we've noticed in the last 5 years, come and go. I'd rather have somebody who's a little more anchored and has a better finger on the pulse of how the school and the community interact together.
Sure, yeah, I could reach out and find out if Josh would be, and
Or just somebody
Or,
who's,
you know, some teacher that's been a community member for a period of time.
well, some of it's around future land use, and so we're gonna wanna understand kind of what the school's plan is, if they
Okay.
ever expand, and so that's where I think, at least at the principal level, we'd wanna have
Okay,
that engagement. Cause realistically, hypothetically, should another school building be put up, I imagine, I mean, that really changes how the town
Yeah.
develops, so.
okay.
It could also be a
Can we
teacher,
get, you know, both of
Yes.
those individuals?
yes,
Thank
it
you.
could also be a teacher, but we were for sure looking for
Okay,
some
that makes
school
sense.
administration.
Yeah.
and just as a side note, Josh has pulled me aside and he said, I want to talk to you about, I have some questions, and I'm like, what about? He's like, well, what kind of vision do you have for the city? And so he does have an interest in, beyond the walls of the school, an eye on the community, so.
Nice. Perfect. In the meantime, we had our kickoff, we had a meet and greet with our primary planner, Michelle. And at the same time, I did receive a phone call about a potential residential development in town. And so I checked with the comp plan team about whether we need to wait to pursue that until the comp plan is done, or if we can do it in conjunction. They were comfortable doing it in conjunction, so just a heads up to you. I will there may be a meeting with that individual, and then we'll have to start working on any zoning action that needs to happen and those types of things. So just not to surprise you, there are some talks of potentially restarting a development, so. That's all I'm willing to share on that right now until I have more concrete information. I've already mentioned the budget workshops that'll be coming, be thinking about any items as well. I think this council's done a really nice job. If we look back at our capital improvement plan, we've kind of clicked through that, so
When do we look at that again?
as part of the comp plan.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause that was,
It's been a while since I think we've gone through that exercise, hasn't it?
yeah,
10 years, isn't it?
oh, comp plan was sooner than that,
No, I mean, where we go.
or the
where we
capital
have the-
improvement.
Yeah, the really crazy
the voting.
scoring,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we probably should start talking goals. We could do that as part of the budget workshop too, if we wanted to. If we have time. Cause we've clicked a lot of them off, so yeah, it's time to start looking at new goals.
We don't wanna drop something off either.
Yep. I agree. In January, I do hope to have a employee handbook review for you. This will include, just a heads up, we are gonna review the benefits that we offer, including, I know you all just approved our health insurance plans. Right now we do, the city covers 100% of the premiums for employees. We are looking to maintain competitive, especially with cities like Marion and Cedar Rapids. While they are not our size, they are in our area and do draw the employees that are municipally minded. And so we are going to start kind of comparing what their benefits look like and see if we need to make any adjustments to those types of things. So that'll be coming more your way in January, we hope. We do have just a quick update on our encroachment agreement that we have out with a resident on the south edge of Main Street. There have been some violations with that agreement with the terms and conditions that have been put in place. I did send that over to the attorney who worked with that individual's attorney, gave them 10 days to remedy. It has not been remedied. Given that we didn't think we would be able to address tonight's full agenda, just given some of the conflicts, I did not put it on the agenda, so we will continue to work with that resident until the next meeting, but you might see action asked of council if we choose to terminate that agreement based on the terms that we do have built into it. So just a heads up that he has been notified that he is in violation and has yet to remedy those. Likewise.
Is this different than the nuisance?
Correct, because so we were under litigation for the encroachment because he was not permitted, and then when we signed the agreement, that was when we did give him permission to encroach. And so we dropped the litigation on that because we put the agreement in place. So he's now in violation of the agreement, which if he then doesn't follow through with alleviating the encroachment would come back to more litigation, more contempt on that. We did get a ruling that he was encroaching, and so he cannot encroach again, and therefore we would go straight to contempt if he's violating that order.
Okay.
And we still have the nuisance thing in the works too.
We do still have the nuisance thing in the works, so when we provided encroachment, notice of the encroachment violation, we took the opportunity to also remind about the nuisance. And so again, that has not been remedied, and I do know the attorney is looking to file for another hearing on the contempt, so that should be coming up. Each time we file, it seems to take 2 months to actually get on the court's docket, so. We'll be filing in another cause for contempt on that nuisance. And then last but not least, the new website is live. I know a couple of you have taken a gander at it. One thing I would like to see, and I will give the other two a heads up, is some updated council pictures. We actually don't even have one for Councilor Sukup, so, and I know mine is several years old. So maybe in January, if we all wanna dress up, we can, get ourselves some new council pictures in January. I did wanna follow up. There was a question at the last meeting about the cost savings. While not substantial, it's still not nothing. So our new website is $12 a year. The old one was costing us $30 a year. So it's not a lot, but the biggest benefit is that staff can manage the new website. And so,
That's all that costs.
yes. We do benefit from I do receive an employee discount, so we do benefit from that, but, yes. Again, biggest benefit is staff being able to manage themselves, so we're working through what all that looks like and doing some training. Yes,
While I was looking at the website, I came across something about docs or something where you could pay your bill online. Do we know anything about that?
Say that again?
Huh?
so
Well, there's a website that came out, pay your utility bill in Alburnett on some site called Docs.
that is not authorized by us.
Well, that's why I'm wanna bring it up.
I will take a look at that. What we are looking into when we move over to the new clerk books, the
Mhm.
online one that council approved, which is scheduled for this summer, unless they can work us in sooner, that does include an online payment portal
Yeah.
without any fees. Cause we could do an online payment portal now, but there are fees associated, and I'm pretty sure that was, I may misspoke, there might be fees, but it would be directly in clerk books.
There's a they charge 4%. But if you do like an electronic check where I can put in the routing number and your account number, there's no fee. It's only if you use a debit or a credit card number. 4%.
Yep, so we will be looking at online payments, with the new clerk, when we have the new clerk books in place.
Where are you seeing the,
How do I get on Google here?
I don't think, it's not on our website. I think he just found it when he,
I just did a search for Alburnett and it popped up.
yeah, so we'll follow up and make sure it's legitimate. All right, that's all for my mayor's report. That brings us to council comments. Counselor Trum,
Nothing new.
Counselor Rosenberg.
Yeah, just kind of put it out there for the residents that have fire hydrants in their front of your yard to, with the snow, to keep snow moved back from them. So at least a couple feet, 2-3 feet around them, so that in case there is a fire, they don't have to dig it out. So,
Good call. Your neighbors appreciate it. Anything else?
nope, that's good.
Counselor Myers?
compliments to Mac on getting the snow moved and the corner there, Hart and Main usually is a nasty spot for one reason or another, and it looks great, so.
All right.
I think it's going easier this year, isn't it?
Pretty smooth, yeah.
Seems like it, you're been a really good job.
Mhm.
I've even heard people come make compliments. He was doing a good job.
All right, we'll confirm the date and time of our next meeting is January 8th, 2026. That is so crazy to say, at 7 PM. With that, I would seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Trum, second by Bozenberg.
Yep. Fine.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned at 7:53 PM. Thank you very much.
Remember when Y2K was a big